So hello everyone, I welcome you all to the Concept YouTube channel. So today's topics are, first topic is related with agri reforms. So the question can be framed in GS paper 3 under section agriculture and economy. Second topic is two front war. The question can be framed under GS paper 2 IR section Assam repealing bill. So we need to understand about this bill, what are the provision of this bill. In general, the question cannot be framed based on provision of this bill, but this bill can be used as an argument in different questions. Next is about CPEC, China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, the debt strategy that is followed by China. So we will try to understand that. This topic can be asked under GS paper 2 IR section. Next is about Taliban USA, and in the end I will give you the mains question. So this session is presented by me. My name is Saurabh Pandey. If you are preparing for IS examination, you can join Unacademy. Many of batch courses have been launched. This batch course for 2021 and 2022, 2023, there are many batch courses that have been launched. You can join it. Use the code SPLIVE. What you have to do, you have to take the subscription of Unacademy. So you can take subscription of GS, General Studies, and for my optional, you can take the subscription for Unacademy optional. Okay, for you have to take the subscription under optional category. You have to use this code SP Live. Agriculture is a high scoring optional, and it will also give you an opportunity to target Indian Forest Service. And the second part is that the option will start from January 5. The class will be at 9:30 PM. So I hope you will all join, and you will focus to complete your optional as soon as possible. So you can take 1 year or 2 years or 3 years subscription. Use the code SP Live. If you are using the code SP Live, the amount will reduce by 10%. To download the PDF of this session, you can visit SP Current Affairs Telegram channel, and you have to send your mains answer, the question that I give you in the end. So you have to send the mains answer, your mains answer today by 5 PM if you want your answer to be counted for answer writing championship. So the winner will be announced at 10 PM, and the question that I will give, we will discuss in detail the approach that we need to follow and the best answer also. You can follow me on unacademy.com/@SPLab. So let's discuss the first topic. This topic is related with India's two-front challenge. So when you talk about two-front challenge or two-front conflict, it means India can face war from both sides. Like Pakistan can also attack India at the same point, or at the same time China can also attack India. So India need to prepare itself for two-front war. Now to tackle this two-front conflict, India has two dilemmas. One is related with the resources, and second is the strategy. When you talk about the resources means like in case of armed forces, the resources are the armed force personnel. So where you will deploy the armed force personnel. For example, if all or most of the armed forces or armed force personnel are deployed in the northern sector, so it will open or reduce the security infrastructure in the western border of India and in the southern part as well. So this is again a dilemma in the mind of Indian military, that what approach, how they should utilize the resources and what strategy they need to follow. Second part is related with the approach that India need to focus. For example, it is said that presently, in order to tackle this two-front war, India focuses on major platforms such as aircraft, ships and tanks. There is need that India or Indian armed forces, they need to work on future technologies such as robotics, artificial intelligence, cyber electronic warfares. So India need to increase its skill on these future technologies and how to use them to empower or strengthen armed forces. So this is the basic challenge that Indian armed forces may face in future. Second part has been highlighted that India also need to assess the strategy of China and Pakistan, and accordingly India need to develop its fighting strategy. Next is related with the diplomacy part. The point that has been highlighted about the diplomacy. Diplomacy is a major tool when you talk about the steps that need to be taken in order to tackle this two front conflict. Diplomacy has a very important role. So when you talk about diplomacy, under diplomacy we need to increase our engagement in West Asia. If we are increasing our engagement in West Asia, countries like Iran, if you are trying to increase our influence in countries like Iran, it will help us to increase India's influence in these countries, and it will help to reduce the influence of China in these countries, which may directly or indirectly help us to tackle China's presence in these areas. We can also increase our energy security cooperation, maritime cooperation with these countries or with these extended neighborhood. Next is related with how we should approach towards Russia. When you talk about Russia, so our step should not be such that India is more focused towards USA. If India is more focused towards USA, it may impact India's relationship with Russia. So India need to maintain a balance. India cannot sacrifice in favor of India-United States relation. India also need to maintain good relationship with Russia, because Russia can play a very important role in tackling Pakistan and China both. Next point that has been highlighted about the Quad formation or quadrilateral dialogue formation when you talk about. So when you talk about the Quad, in Quad you have countries like India, Australia, Japan and USA. The major focus point is Indo-Pacific region. Indo-Pacific region is an area which includes Indian Ocean region up till Central Pacific Ocean, and to reduce the aggression of China in this region, India is turning to be a focal point where many of the power like Australia, Japan, USA and even many European power are trying to align themselves with India to tackle the aggression of China. This is the major step that India is trying to take. Now Pakistan and China, if you talk about these two countries, they are trying to engage India in a term that we use called as continental dilemma. They are trying to engage India in the northern frontier. They are trying to engage India in around LOC and LSC, so that India can compel itself to engage in these areas, and its focus in maritime area reduces. So India need to tackle this continental dilemma, and this Quad provides a great opportunity for India to align with the different countries and to reduce the aggression of China in the maritime arena. Next topic is, this is a very important topic. This is again related with agriculture reforms. So the question can be framed under GS paper 3 economy section. Again a very important topic, economy also and agriculture sector. So you need to create a separate you can create a separate page for topics related with agriculture, because essay can be asked, or a question in GS paper 3 can be asked economy or agriculture section. The question can easily be framed. The major points that have been highlighted by the protesters are as follows. One is related with APMC, second is about the MSP, and third is about increase in the presence of corporate sector in agricultural trade, and third is farmer land will be taken by the powerful corporates. Like take the example of APMC. So Agriculture Produce Market Committee Act. Every state come up with such act, Agriculture Produce Market Committee Act, and they establish APMC mandis. These APMC mandis, when you talk about these APMC mandis, now farmer has to put its first sale in these APMC mandis. These APMC mandis charges certain taxes, fees, and these taxes or charges that are taken by the APMC mandis. It is said by the APMC mandis that they use these financial resources to create storage, to maintain these mandis, to create roads, to construct road. All these things are developed, which directly or indirectly help the farmers to sell their product. So it is said by the protester that the government is taking steps to end these mandis presence. But if you see the bill's provision, the bills highlights that a farmer has this option to sell its the farmer has this option to carry out its first sale in these APMC mandis, but farmer also has the option to search for other areas, for example private mandis. So it depends on the farmers whether farmer wants to sell its product in these mandis or it wants to sell its product in other mandis. So this is the basic case. Second is related with MSP. Again, MSP, when you talk about the MSP provides income security, you can say. An assured income provides a kind of we can say the assured income is a basic point which actually farmers in Punjab and Haryana wants to continue, because if a farmer is producing wheat and rice, he is assured that he will get certain amount of money from the government when the farmer sells his product. So if MSP ends, then this income security of farmer will also end. This is the apprehension that is carried by the farmer. But in the bill, if you will see, there is no such provision which talks about that MSP will end. Although farmers are demanding that there should be a separate law. There should be a separate law for MSP. Presently, MSP is in the form of policy. The government says that if MSP is in the form of policy, why there is a demand for the law? Second, means the next apprehension is related with the presence of corporate sector in agricultural trade. So by ending APMC mandis, it is an apprehension in the mind of farmers that there will be a corporate presence in agricultural trade. They will take over all the trade opportunities which are presently used by the large farmers or the arhatiyas or the middlemen. So all the opportunity will be taken by the corporate sector and they will not be able to fight with the powerful corporate sector. So this point has been highlighted. Next, again a very important point, that is, if you talk about agriculture in India, the agri income and the gap between the agri income and non-agri income means the income generated from agriculture activities and the income generated from the non-agriculture activities. This gap is continuously increasing. For example, in 1994, it was rupees 25,000 around, and now it has increased to rupees 1.42 lakh in 2011 and 12. So this point you can use in many areas when you talk about the importance of transforming the agricultural economy in the rural areas, and if you are trying to highlight the agrarian distress which is present in the rural areas. Also, aggregate food demand has fallen short of the domestic production because the focus is towards producing more of rice, more of wheat. This is the major focus. So if you are producing more of rice, more of wheat, so the production is continuously increasing. There is a case of increase in domestic production. You have a surplus production. So if you have a surplus production and the production is to such an extent that it overpasses the demand. If the demand is suppose is of 100 kg and you are producing 1000 kg, if demand is of 100 kg and you are producing 1000 kg, so 900 kg either the government should take or you should have this opportunity to export. So again, many farmers they are exporting many of the agriculture commodities, which again helping them to earn more. But in this context, what you have to understand is that aggregate food demand has fallen short of the domestic production, means the demand is comparatively lesser when you compare with the production. So we are already sitting in excess stock. We have stock of 60 lakh ton of sugar, nearly 72 million tons of extra buffer stock of wheat and rice. So these stocks are managed by government and they need to spend a lot of fiscal resources, financial resources in order to manage these stocks. India's agri-exports are getting pushed imports are turning attractive as domestic prices are turning much higher than international prices. This is again a major dilemma also, because we need to focus on agricultural commodities. We need to focus on agricultural commodities diversification. Like it should not be there that farmers are only focusing on wheat and rice. They are focusing more on growing wheat and rice. They need to diversify the agriculture commodities so that domestic demand for different commodities, agricultural commodities, are met. If the production related with different commodities is less, so there will be a case of import, means that many of the product will be imported, and the prices of the product that is imported will be comparatively less, because in our country the production of that commodity may be less, and the reason is that the focus is not on agricultural diversification. We are mainly focusing on growing more of rice and wheat, and the major attractiveness or the attraction for growing more of rice and wheat is high MSP. So rural youth, including farmer children, are looking for jobs. Employment is also one of the factors. So you all are aware that around 42% of the total employment is in agriculture sector, but the productivity, when you talk about the productivity is comparatively less. Productivity is very less. So to increase the agricultural productivity, or we can say to increase the productivity in general, to utilize our human capital, it is required that the youth is provided with the skill, and the youth is engaged in non-agricultural activities. If non-agricultural activities opportunity related with the non-agricultural activities increases in rural areas, this will also enhance the possibility of increase in trade in non-agricultural related communities, and also it will increase the employment opportunity. The non-agri business will also increase in rural economy, which will further help in growing the rural economy as well. The growth rate in agriculture, if we talk about agriculture, in agriculture many of the communities they are provided support in the form of subsidy. Around 45 to 55 billion dollar subsidy actually provided by India, much higher than US and EU. But when you talk about per farmer subsidy, it is around $48 only, in comparison to USA, where it is around $7,000. So if we try to reduce the workforce which is engaged in agriculture activities, and we divert the workforce in different non-agriculture sectors, agriculture service sector or different non-agricultural sector, this will help us to utilize our resources in a better way. So this will also help us to enhance the opportunities in non-agri sector. Also, the youth energy can be used in a productive manner. There is a huge possibility of even value addition. Take the case of a single potato. The price of a single potato is we can say it's very less, but chips created by that single potato, the price is very comparatively higher. It can be 10-15 rupees, but single potato cost, even if you will ask with a farmer, the farmer will give you a single potato. So we have to understand that the focus should be on value addition, modern value chains, value addition, export. All these mindset, all these we can say these new arenas of agriculture need to be followed. We also need to be engaged in such activities. This will help in generation of more of employment opportunities. Next is related with APMC only. In case of APMC, crops other than paddy, wheat, cottons are selling at a price below the MSP in the APMC mandis of Punjab. Even in Punjab, in APMC mandis, other than rice and wheat, for different other crops, the price that is offered is actually less than MSP. Another provision of New Trading Act, as per the New Trading Act, for example, earlier there is a provision of licensing. So now, in the previous law, you have this provision of licensing. Many of middlemen, they take the license and then they carry out the trade. Now with a PAN card, a trade can be carried out. Even a farmer can go for trading. His son can do agri business and other rural youth can undertake purchases of farm commodity for direct sale. So with a PAN card for a trader, the transfer can easily be made. The act or the trade can easily be carried out. The new act intend to insulate interested farmers against market and price risk. This is fact is related with the contract farming. Like in contract farming case also, if suppose there is one farmer A and that farmer signs a contract with a company C, and this company assures that it will provide certain amount, for example 10 rupees per kg it will provide. So suppose the prices reduces to 8 rupees, then also the company need to pay the farmer 10 rupees per kg only. Also, if the prices increases to rupees 15, then the company has to pay rupees 15 to the farmer. So these changes have been made. If there is any grievances, there are also mechanism by using which the farmer can put their complaint against any of the stakeholder which is impacting their interest. Next is Assam table bills to make madrasa schools regular schools. So Assam repealing bill 2020, it seeks to repeal the Assam Madrasa Education Provincialization Act 1995. So this act will be removed. Assam Madrasa Education Provincialization of Service of Employee Reorganization of Madrasa Education Act 20. These two bills will be removed. These two acts will be removed and new act is formulated. This bill also proposed to convert the madrasas into primary, higher secondary schools with no change of status quo, pay, allowances, means the teaching and non-teaching staffs who are working in these madrasas, there will be no changes in their service conditions or allowances and pay. Next, again a very important topic related with China defense progress of Pakistan corridor. So this topic is related with IR, and this the strategy of China's, what we call it as a debt trap. So there has been allegation that China is using this strategy of a debt trap. It is using this strategy of debt trap, and by using the strategy of debt trap, it tries to acquire certain area. For example, in case of Sri Lanka, it offered loan to Sri Lanka to develop Hambantota port. It offered a loan to develop Hambantota port. Now, accordingly, it was expected on part of Sri Lanka that this port will provide certain return to Hambantota, but that return was not there. Means the agriculture, the economic activities was very less in this port. So the income generation was also very less in Hambantota port. So as a result, what happened? Sri Lanka has signed an agreement with China, because as the loan has been provided by the China to Sri Lanka to develop Hambantota, it was expected that China need to be repaid its loan. Interest was very high. So as a result, you can say China gave an offer to Sri Lanka to provide Hambantota port in lease, and Sri Lanka has provided it, and in return China said that they will not ask for any repayment. Similar strategy is followed by China in case of China-Pakistan economic corridor. This economic corridor, which is again a part of One Belt One Road initiative or BRI, which connect two parts. One is Kasgar to Gwadar port. Kasgar and Gwadar port, these two regions are connected by this project CPEC, China-Pakistan economic corridor. Even to develop this corridor, like to develop this line from Peshawar to Karachi, China said that it need to provide $6 billion loan. Means you can say Pakistan need around $6 billion loan for main line 1 project, and to repay this much amount. Again, you can say Pakistan also need to provide certain assurity to China of repayment. Even in case of loan for CPEC, if you talk about loan from CPEC, around $5.8 billion, which is again a huge amount. It is around 5.3% of Pakistan total foreign debt. A repayment period of 20 to 25 years. Interest rate of approximately 2%, with repayment to start in 2021 of around $300 million. So this amount is huge. It means every year Pakistan need to repay $300 million. In addition to this, if a line is developed from Peshawar to Karachi, this amount may further increase. So China need assurity of repayment. If the Pakistan is not able to pay the amount, then China may ask for something else. Like recently we have discussed about 2 islands which may be provided by Pakistan to China, and these 2 islands are located close to Arabian Sea, and if China increases its presence in Arabian Sea, it will have a huge we can say huge impact on India's security architecture. So this debt strategy of China is somehow impacting the interest of India as well, but this strategy is actually followed by China. This debt trap strategy is followed by China to control certain area of that country. They will ask for certain area of that country, like in case of Sri Lanka it is Hambantota port, and in case of Pakistan there can be other reason also. Next is Taliban, related with Taliban. So we have discussed about it in detail. Presently there is a talk that negotiation between Taliban and USA will further commence. USA wants to withdraw its forces from Taliban from Afghanistan. Okay, so Taliban presence in Afghanistan has increased. There are many stakeholders in Afghanistan. Taliban is one of the stakeholder. Then you have Afghan government. In Afghan government you have 2 factions. One is led by Ashraf Ghani, the other is led by Abdullah, who is a Pashtun leader. So he take into consideration the interest of its tribe. Similarly, Ashraf Ghani, it is said that he works as per the USA. So there are other stakeholders as well. For example, Russia is there, Pakistan's ISI has played important role in the creation of Taliban. You have China also. So India also need to increase its presence in Afghanistan in order to protect its interest. If USA withdraws its forces and the presence of Taliban increases, it can be against the interest of India. India need to increase its presence in Afghanistan in order to counter the presence of Pakistan and China in Afghanistan. So all these steps need to be taken. It all depends what kind of agreement is signed by USA with Taliban. So let's see the question in the end. What impact debt trap strategy of China will have on India's security architecture? Try to send your answer before 5:30 p.m. and at 10 p.m. I will announce answer netting champion, and then we will also discuss about the best answer. Yesterday the best answer was of P. Awale and Vijay Monday. So let's see who will win who will win answer writing championship today. Don't forget to share this session with your friends. Also please subscribe the channel. Also press that bell icon so that you can get the notification of every video, and also like the session. So I request each of you, do like the session, subscribe the channel. Thank you everyone, and let's crack it.